hello, good evening, and welcome back to the competitive speed series. Welcome to round 7 in Austria. The Red Bull Ring is upon us. 36 laps of potential epic racing is heading towards you. My name is Frostbreath, and I'll be your commentator once again for tonight. You maybe saw I brought some fancy snow in, a little bit of season festivities since it's already December. And the holidays are upon us in about 3 weeks' time. So I thought I'd bring some snow in. Hope you enjoyed it. Now onto the subject of the day. Let's have a little look at the standings. Maybe you've seen it on Twitter, but OP is now leading the way with 199 points. They are now 6 points clear of Team GRS. WR is still behind GRS. However, both of them have been overtaken by Outplayed, as they are now leading the standings. Not only here in PC, it's also leading in the PSF1 standings as well. So, Team OP now leads 2 team standings in 2 different tiers. PS and PC right here. Of course, GRS and WR are not that far behind. It's a difference of 6 points between the top two. And then WR is 11 points behind GRS. Then MLR and ABS are very close together. And fourth and fifth, and they're definitely not out of the running just yet. You can even say that FFC is still somewhat in the running as well. The other teams are going to have a real challenge catching up to the top if it stays like this. So then, some more news about ABS. We have this team. We've seen this team having a race ban for one of their drivers, meaning that ABS will only be running with one car, one Ferrari tonight, as they had accumulated enough penalty points to warrant them a race ban. We also have, I believe, a team with a qualifying ban. Let me have a quick look. Actually, there's 3 teams with a qualifying ban. There's WOR, there's OP, and there's Spark, who all have to serve a qualifying ban. Just updating the chat that there's still a team completely missing. I can't see anyone of the Spark team for some reason. Let's hope they'll be joining soon. I just had an update that there is no Spark team tonight, so the entire Spark team is actually out. Meaning that means there'll be 3 drivers down, 1 ABS driver since they have 1 race ban. There's also, of course, the entire Spark team not present. Not sure why or how. Unfortunately, they will not be here this evening. More news. I also have some news about the GRS team. They have seen Luke Mills leaving. Why am I mentioning that? Since there's quite a lot of driver swaps throughout the season, it's because Luke Mills has been the consistent factor for the team. However, he's not gone from this series yet. He has now joined another team. He seems to be moving on to the ABS team. Unfortunately, as I said, they are only having 1 car tonight, so Luke will not be able to join us this time round. We have new drivers in for GRS as well. Tonight we have the familiar name of Krathylum joining once again alongside a new name in the name of Maki. You'll be joining alongside Krathylum in the Williams cars. Let's see if there's any other new names for the FFC team. We see a new name alongside Roll Race. We have now Vuk Gaika joining us in the 2nd Mercedes. WR have their familiar names of Janesh Dovjan, Elias Psaros once more in these cars. And then there's the NLR team. This time they have Dwight Chow and Gabriel Quintino in the Haas cars. Then there's the OP team with Sixten Lindhart and Valentino Labella. We've seen Valentino before, and Sixten I believe as well. Valentino, of course, looking mighty quick. For ETE, we have Ryan Cox and Roman Dishmay. They've got some work to do. As you can see here in the standings, they're still dead last and quite far behind Spark now. However, some good results. Could see them being lifted from that last place since Spark is absent. Other teams, we also have the ERT team with Nathan, Samba and Lapland. Tonight we have GS with Seb and Marcel Papst joining here in this grid. Harry Nuns is the only driver for the ABS team in the Ferrari tonight. And that is the conclusion of all teams. We have all drivers in right now. I see there's an extra driver. He shouldn't be here. I'm afraid it's too late. There's some extra driver. Apparently that's one of my own Steam friends. I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, you can join through friends, and that means we have an extra driver that shouldn't be here. So let's hope that can be resolved. I've messaged him already, and it should be fine, hopefully, momentarily. And now I'm sacked. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you whenever. Anyway, here we are. Thankfully, he left. However, you can still see the car in the standings. You can see him over there. Shame. Anyway, let's quickly move on to the grid to show you what I actually tried to say here. There we are. As you can see, one of the Alpine cars has a surprise driver. Interestingly. So just ignore that car. It's not there, and that means there's 17 drivers on the grid. So here we go, one car leaving already out of the pit lane. It's the WR car of Ilias Psaros. We've seen him plenty of times before, absent last week, as well as Janesh Dovjan. Both of them were missing. We had two different drivers for Team WOR, and they had a less than optimal race. I'm not saying it's the driver's fault, they just had a less than ideal race in the Netherlands. It was also of course, fraught with glitches and errors, as the first safety car didn't really work properly. So that was another thing that threw a spanner in the works of the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. We saw OP team with a 1-2 in qualifying. However, they couldn't convert it into a 1-2 victory since, well, there were glitches and other things that changed their plans, unfortunately. However, they are still leading the championship, so there's still a reason for them to celebrate. Plenty of drivers now exiting the pit lane. As you can see, Ilias Psaros is going to be the first to start a lap time. We see Valentino Labella, the second car, approaching the start-finish straight in a while. Just starting the third sector here. So let's switch our attention back to the man who is going to set the first lap time of the night. Ilias Psaros rounded the Red Bull Ring through turn 1. There's only 10 corners, of course, on this track. You can see this very slight corner coming up. Frankly, this is a corner. The previous one, which was slightly to the right, isn't. Otherwise, it would have been 11 corners. Then one of the trickier corners here. Brake the car in time, otherwise you might just get off the road there and get your lap time invalidated. Negotiating some traffic here, the man from Greece for Team WOR. Obviously, the first sector being purple. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a 1:03 tonight, which is to be expected with this grid of very quick drivers. WR need a good result to stay within the championship fight. Of course, there are only 17 points from the top of my head behind the leading team of OP. They've still been behind the GRS since, well, forever pretty much. So they would like to get at least past them tonight. Back into second place they go. So, 1:03.5 is the first lap time of the night. Ilias Psaros is the first driver to do so. So, let's quickly switch to Valentino Labella. 44.3 through the middle sector. 2 more corners to go past the pit entry lane, which has the special rule that you can actually cross the... Oh, dearie me! That on the last corner is invalidation. Not only does it happen in real life a lot, you will also see it happen here tonight, and I would not be surprised to see at least 6 drivers tonight who get a 3-second time penalty or worse due to track limits. It happens in real life, as I said, a lot, and it will also happen tonight many times. PSF1 pole was a 3.0. Well, already Harry Nuns has improved to a 3.370, getting closer to the PSF1 pole time. I wouldn't be surprised if he can once again beat that lap time tonight. Maki, the new GRS driver, has gone in with a 1:04.8 for the time being the slowest of the lot. There's, of course, only 6 drivers having set a lap time. Nathan Samba in P5. I believe Gabriel Quintino just set a lap time, a 3.5 as well. Just behind Elias Psarros. Do not be surprised, since this is such a short track, if the lap times are very, very close together. Let's watch Ryan Cox here for a little bit. I believe he was attempting a lap. He's charging the battery as we speak and heading back into the pit lane. No lap time for Ryan just yet. Thailand with a 4.1 there. Dwight Chow not having had a great lap time there whatsoever with a 12.8. Definitely made a mistake there. This is Vuk Gaika not having set a lap time yet and recharging the battery already. Probably invalidated it as well. It seems like quite a few drivers are struggling here tonight in the Red Bull Ring. Both OP drivers without a lap time yet. In case you're wondering why is there RC prefix in front of Sixten Lindhardt's name, I do not know. I believe it's a rule they should have the correct prefix in front of their name, so OP might be in trouble for that little mishap. Same goes for GRS. And that should be it. Dinesh Davjan, of course, serving the qualifying ban. OP having a qualifying ban as well, I believe, from the top of my head. FFC has a qualifying ban. As I said in the start of the stream, 3 teams have one, and I've already forgotten which 3. I could check it, but that would pause the game. So I'm not going to do that. Roman Dishmay, I believe, is currently the only one on a hot lap, and he's already finished it, a 3.7. That is what Team ETE needs, especially now that Spark is missing. ETE needs good results. Roman Dishmay for now in 6th place and not that far off pole position. There we go, confirmation that OP and WR have qualifying bans. I believe the 3rd team was Spark, but they're missing. I think their qualifying ban will stand until round 8 if they return. Marcel Pabst, we're watching him right now on his way on a hot lap. First sector 16.0, half a tenth quicker, which for the first sector in the Red Bull Ring is quite a lot, since there's technically only one proper corner in that sector and the rest is purely straight onwards. So let's see how he can do in the middle sector. Currently 10th fastest, a 4.0, just behind Nathan Samba and just ahead of Kurthailem. And Team GRS once again in the middle pack for the qualifying. But their consistency has granted them 2nd place in the standings. And let's see if they can keep up the consistency with the new driver, Maki. So far, though, not too bad, since they're still behind one another. Although Maki's time could use a bit of an improvement. So let's see what Marcel can do as he approaches the final corner. Whoa, nearly went too wide there. We saw a glitching car through the corner as well. There you go, a nice improvement, up to P7 now. Back to Elias Psarros, a 10th quicker through the first sector. Now that is important. Middle sector then, more than a 10th quicker right now. Potentially on his way to provisional pole, which is still in the hands of Harry Nuns. Dwight Chow has come closest so far. Sepp not too far behind either. So there's plenty of potential pole sitters here tonight. Let me know in the chat, by the way, who you think is going to be on pole position. I've already seen several fans of several teams, and there we go. Elias Psarros with the fastest lap of the session so far. It is marginally quicker, about 3/100ths of a second quicker than Harry Nuns was. So there is still some room for improvement, I'm sure. We're getting ever closer to the 3.0. We can see fans of NLR. We can see a fan of ERT. Especially NLR fans tonight. Right now, their drivers being in 3rd and 5th, which is not too bad. Trying to find who else is on a hot lap. There we go, Valentino Labella. Well done to him. It's a 3.2, now the fastest man of the lot. And not surprising though, this man is an absolute qualifying beast. Let's switch to Gabriel Quintino in the meanwhile, who is currently on his way for a hot lap. Trying to get as much tow as possible from several cars from different teams. Through the first sector though, slower. 35 milliseconds to be precise, is not much. He's currently about 0.3 slower than provisional pole. So there's definitely room for improvement for him there. Looks like NLR is back on the front foot, meaning that they could potentially qualify somewhere in the front row. sections, so to say. Almost 2/10 quicker through the middle sector. Now this is starting to look promising. If he can find more time through the third sector, then this is promising to be an excellent lap. We see his teammate in the background, preparing his tires for a final time to get the hot lap started. Oh, cut the last corner too much. Invalidated. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been an improvement anyway. Still though, he was well on his way. Harry Nuns is now the fastest man once again, as now Dwight Chow has started his hot lap. He's getting a nice tow from his teammate. Dwight Chow, of course, was very close to provisional poles. Lost a little bit of ground now in 4th position. First sector, 74 milliseconds. Also, of course, thanks to the tow of Gabriel, who wasn't able to complete a proper hot lap there. I believe Seb is on his way as well. Is invalidated, unfortunately. Seen through the middle sector 1 millisecond slower. It would have been a 3.363, which would have been enough for P5. Just 1 position improvement. Let's see, though, if Dwight Chow can go quicker. 74 milliseconds through the first. More than a 10th through the second. Potentially, this could be a P2 or 3, depending on how well he does in the third one. Of course, the trickiest corner of the lot here, turn 10, and too wide, and it's invalidated. Deary, deary me. Wouldn't have been an improvement anyway, as he went way too wide. But it is very unfortunate. Neither NLR driver is able to improve their first attempt. So let's switch to another car is currently on their way. Roll Race in P9 at the moment, 3.7. As he approaches 2 Aston Martin cars, no hampering there, fortunately for him, as his battery is getting quite empty, which is going to be a problem, as he was quite quick through the middle sector, nearly 2/10 quicker. Although this is pretty much a power sector, which could bring him in a little bit of trouble. Through the final corner, within the lines, well done. With DRS open, across the lines, it is going to be an improvement, but I think there could have been more. He's lost a lot of time through the last sector. He was nearly 2/10 up, and he's barely a 10th up at the finish line. So, P7 for the time being. Psaros has started his 3rd attempt. I wouldn't be surprised to see many drivers do 4 attempts and use all of their soft tires, as qualifying, of course, is going to be incredibly close. I see some chaos here off track going on between 3 or 4 cars. What on earth is happening here? There's been a collision between an Aston Martin and a Mercedes. I'm not sure what's happening there. Now Marcel Paps has received that penalty. That means there will be a restart for sure, but this is very, very strange. Both Mercedes went off alongside this Aston Martin here. I saw some pieces of carbon flying off the cars as well. Very strange incident. You don't see that happening too often. One of the Red Bulls went through as well. That was actually Ryan Cox's car, who was on a hot lap. Probably might have been hampered there. 3.7, not too shabby. P9, ETE looking quite good tonight. Hello Fabian, welcome to the stream. Good to see you there, and I hope you will enjoy tonight. Here in the Red Bull Ring, it's looking to be a pretty nice qualifying. Valentino Labella has started another hot lap. Let's see how he will do through the middle sector. I think he went a bit too wide there. I saw some gravel on the right tires. A 10th slower than his previous attempt, and it's not looking to be an improvement whatsoever. And I think he's heading back into the pits. There we go. Looks like he's got his pit assist enabled. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but the instant stop pretty much proved it there. Gabriel Quintino, purple first sector. Let's see if he can improve this time. Invalidated on the final corner. His teammate did so as well. Dwight Chow is currently on his way for a hot lap too. He's warming his tires as we speak. Let's see how his teammate is going to do. Because of course I haven't watched the ERT drivers yet. I believe Lapland, yeah, there we go, is on his way at the moment. His teammate Nathan Samba right behind him. Lapland across the line. Is it going to be an improvement? Quite a lot actually. Up to P7. Nathan Samba needs to find some extra time as well. Up to P8. Very nice. And it looks like, I think Gabriel's had a moment. We saw a yellow flag and his lap time is gone. He was 3/10 up through the middle sector. That would have been provisional pole most likely. Unfortunately, once again, NLR can't seem to complete another hot lap. So the pressure now back to Dwight Chow in 4th place right now. An improvement in the first sector. I just barely missed it, how much it was, but I believe it was about half a tenth, a little bit more than that. Still, Harry Nuns is on provisional pole and he's still sitting in the pit lane. I think he's gonna wait until the final attempt. Look at this, a nice improvement through the middle sector. Almost 1.5 tenths quicker. He could be on his way to at least the front row here as well. But there seems to be a little bit of a curse on NLR tonight in terms of qualifying. Let's see if it goes safely through the final corner. Yes, going to be looking good then. Where is he going to place himself? 1 position quicker. It's up to 3rd position now, beating Ilias Psaros, who is improved as well, I believe, but not enough. Let's see, Seb, nearly getting hampered there by one of the OP cars. This man is looking quick as well tonight, and GS team needs that. Let's see here, 70 milliseconds quicker through Sector 2. That will not be enough to get 1 place higher. The next car in his sight is going to be Ilias from WOR. So a lot of time needs to be found in the final sector then. Still within the lines, nice and easy does it. Across the line, it's not improvement in position, but it is nice, actually a quite good improvement in time. As Lapland retires, as well as Nathan in the pit lane. Harinan's back out. His final attempt is on its way right now. I think, yep, there we go. Valentino Labella has started another attempt as well. He invalidated the previous one. He was well on his way to provisional pole, I believe. Here is another go for him. 38 milliseconds quicker through the first sector. He's about a tenth slower at the moment than Harry is. He's got no teammate ahead to give him a tow, since Sixten is serving the qualifying ban. As well as Fukugaika hasn't set a lap time either. I'm sure they've got a qualifying ban as well then. Not sure from the top of my head. And of course, Janesh is serving his qualifying ban too. Oh, dearie me, he's lost a lot of time through the middle sector. Might have been because of traffic. But it's once again no improvement for Valentino. What's he going to do though? Can he find some time? Whoa, 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 whoa! Keep it straight, man. That was scary. There were 3 moments on the same straight where he nearly lost the car. And there's many drivers retiring right now, so I've got no clue how much time is left. I think there is still time remaining, although plenty of drivers have already finished their attempt and do not have enough time to get back out. So, qualifying is almost over before it's even over, so to say. As you can see here, many drivers are now gone. Who is still on? Oh, dearie me, it's actually raining. It is raining, ladies and gentlemen. It was a bit tough to see from this camera. But there is rain, and that is, of course, the reason why all of these drivers are retiring. And it looks like Ilias Psaros and Harry Nuns are just making a lot of fun out on track. Deciding to make a 360. Lap times are not going to improve anymore. Which is a blessing, of course, for Harry. Valentino will be very unhappy with this. Since the track is now too wet to set a quick lap time quicker than 1 minute 3.1, meaning that the 3.0 from the PSF1 night previously, or yesterday I should say, is going to stand due to rain. An official confirmation that there is going to be a restart. Which also means we can filter out the unwanted guest. That is my Steam friend. And of course the unwanted grid penalty from Marcel from the top of my head. I'm just waiting for Ilias to go around. If he goes across the line, he will be, it will be quicker. Let's see what he does. The plus side for everybody, this means they will all get fresh, soft tires since the lobby is going to be restarted. And that confirms it. Harry Nuns is in pole position, Valentino Labella in second, Dwight Chow in third. Ilias couldn't improve from fourth since the rain came down. There's some things going on in the chat as well about the strange incident between both Mercedes cars and Marcel, which of course was interesting. Let's actually get the full results here up on the screen to make sure they can fix the grid with the new lobby. Maki will be starting as the last driver with, who set a lap time actually. He's quite far behind the rest of the field, unfortunately. Sixten, Vuk and Janesh without a lap time. And once again, Harry Nuns from pole, Valentino second, Dwight third, Elias fourth, and Sepp in P5. So, since we're going to have to wait a little bit, I would like to ask you your predictions for the race. Let's bring back the snow, by the way, because why not? Predictions for the race, let me know in chat who you think might come out victorious tonight. Qualifying, of course, was pretty close, even more so due to the nature of this track. 10 corners, very short. And that's the reason, of course, we got 36 laps of this epic racing. This is going to be interesting. I don't know what the weather was, so I'm curious to see what the weather will be, because now the lobby is restarted, I can actually get an insight to it before the race even starts. I'm sure the drivers have seen it already themselves, what the weather is going to be. And that is, of course, going to be set in this new lobby. It's going to take a few minutes until we get ready. So we'll be back in a moment. Right, I've just rejoined the lobby. Seems like everybody was already in, so I was a tiny bit late. We're about to get started. The grid is getting formed up. qualifying bans have been served. One race ban is being served by Team ABS. Fortunately for them, their sole driver is starting from pole position. I've seen Alphatic saying in the chat that Harry is going to win, which is the driver for ABS. I see that both GRS drivers are going to end up high in the points, which to be fair is a quite safe prediction, since yeah, GRS tends to be very, very consistent, so I would be surprised at all if your prediction turns out to be right, especially the latter part, Alphatic. Katainen will win. Let's see if they can make that happen. We haven't seen them winning a race yet, at least from the top of my head so far this season. Despite that though, as I said many times now, the team is incredibly consistent, so they should be perfectly fine in terms of points, although you never know. WR had an off week last time round. Maybe this time it's the turn for GRS. They looked like to be in the mud last week as well, but they were able to claw back some positions due to the chaos in between the many safety cars that were happening around Zandvoort. A prediction here, Sixten Lindhart will win. Let's see if you're right, Timon. It's so nice when you see Dutch names. You can just pronounce them the most Dutch way possible, since you're Dutch yourself. That's always nice. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I've just put up the calendar, by the way. I'm not sure if you've noticed. As you can see, round 7 is Austria. You can see next week is going to be Qatar, which should be another very interesting race. I would like to see that from the commentator's perspective. I haven't seen it yet. High tire wear, of course, so that should be interesting. Japan in round 9, and then the finale is going to be in Abu Dhabi. And we can see right there in the chat, or at least I can see it. And it seems the chat, or the grid is ready to go, and that means the drivers can now ready up. And let's see what will happen here in Austria. It's going to be sunny, so a dry race all throughout. I can confirm that one. 36 laps coming up. Looking forward to it. I've seen the predictions. Let's see who's going to be right. I would give a prediction as well, but I tend to curse those who I predict are going to win. So I will not do that. Let's turn off the snow. Otherwise I might accidentally forget, and then you'll see a very snowy race. Not something you would like. Seems like not everybody has gotten the message to ready up. There we go. Now enough drivers have readied up to get going. Lindhart is driving for Outplayed, aka OP, who just so happens to be the leading team in the driver standings. I can actually quickly show you that one before we get going. There we go. 6 points in the lead they are. Let's see if they still are at the end of this race. It's been a while since we've seen any other team than GRS in the lead of this championship. Let's see if they can claw it back tonight. Drivers are getting ready, of course. They will have to reselect their setup, and I have also heard that Park for May is off since this round. So even if there wasn't a restart, they still could have changed from a qualifying setup to a race setup. You can just see on the right side of the screen the grid having formed. You can the Ferrari has just fallen out of view, I believe. Harry Nunz's Ferrari. Valentino second, and of course Dwight in third. Who will be leading after turn 1 on the first lap? Let's see. Tire strategy, of course. The most logic strategy is to go from medium to hard or vice versa. But this is a short track. Who knows? Things could be different around here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be somebody who is trying to go for the medium to soft strategy, which might work just as well if you can let those tires live long enough. I know for a fact it's possible, if you're careful. No formation lap, of course. Shouldn't forget that one. We'll get to the race straight away when the timer is up. And there we go. The lights are going on. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are officially on our way right now, and it looks like a very nice start from Harry Nuns. Valentino Dabella is trying to get side by side with him, but he can't really seem to get the job done there. Dwight Chow is almost getting side by side with Valentino on his turn. Looks like a very good start from Sepp as he moves up into 4th position. Elias Pissarro is now immediately under pressure from Gabriel Quintino from NLR as well, as he tries to defend this position as much as he can, and he dives in the inside in turn 3, and they come together, and some damage to several cars there. Sepp didn't expect Elias to go already, as he was reasonably far back, and now Elias Pissarro is somewhat on the back foot. There is some damage potentially to the front wing, but it's worse for Sepp as he's lost many positions. Now he's dropping down the order quickly. There's a lot of damage to the left side, or I believe the right side of his front wing. Either way, his car is not in perfect shape. He's overtaken by his teammate already. Marcel Paps has got a good start as well, up into 7th position, but the top 3 remain quite stable. Now Nathan Samba has the car in 4th position all of a sudden. Let's quickly switch to the position changes. It looks like Nathan's also had a brilliant start and tries to stay with the top 3 as much as he can with Elias Pissarro's in the back. First lap done then. Harry Nuns safely leading with the pole time of a 1 minute 3.124 from the top of my head. I hope I remember that one correctly. Other than the strange incident between Elias and Seb, there is no big incidents at the moment, but that might just change in the flash of an eye, so to say, as we see Roman Dishmay defending from Gabriel Quintino. He's lost positions, I think, due to the same incident as well. He's lining up Roman for a move. We see Janesh Dovjan having served his qualifying ban, trying to move up the field. He's got medium tires on. Let's have a quick look at those tires. And Marcel Paps, no wonder he's got such a great start. He started on those soft tires. He might just take the gamble and go for soft to mediums. Who knows? It would be brilliant if you can pull that off with a great start alongside it. Up to P6 already. Quite nice there. It looks like Nathan Samba in the meanwhile has lost contact to the top 3. We see Vuk Gaika spun out, unfortunately, in the last, in the 3rd sector on the 2nd lap. And Team GRS at the moment only 14th and 16th. Not looking that strong at the moment. Lap 3 then. The top 3 is gone, especially Harry Nuns. On the medium tires, he's doing a great getaway from the guys in 2nd and 3rd. Elias Pissarro has moved ahead of Nathan Samba, back into 4th place after coming together with Seb. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Nathan's going to try and come back here. He's very close. Is he going to go for a move? There was no space there on the left side. He has to stay behind for the time being. You should also be aware of the car behind. Marcel Paps with the soft tires is on a roll, and he is approaching the next 2 cars very quickly. I wonder if Nathan and Elias are going to fight him hard, because they know the soft tires. Whoa! Looks like Nathan made a mistake. And Marcel is immediately going for the move. Up into 5th place he moves. And the next target is going to be Elias right now. Nathan with a mistake coming out of turn 7. Now a little bit on the back foot. A 2.5 second gap between the top 3 and the man in 4th place right now. Elias Pissarro for the WOR team. He's leading a long train of cars all the way until P16, the car of Maki. Marcel going into turn 3 side by side with Elias Pissarro. Looks like this move is going to be quite easily done with those very quick soft tires. And Elias not only loses 1 position, but 2 at the same time, as Nathan has decided to make a move as well, which I think caught Elias off guard. That means he now has to negotiate with another car approaching quickly. Gabriel Quintino for the NLR team, his teammate in 3rd place at the moment, trying to approach the orange car ahead as well. Maki has lost connection to the group. Kurthaidem at the moment in 14th place. GRS, as I said, not looking that great at the moment. You never know though. They usually Seems to be a little bit on the back foot in the first half of the race, and then safety car and chaos comes out, and that's where they take their opportunities best. However, if there's going to be no safety car, they might be in trouble tonight. And they might lose more than they would like. Of course, it's a good opportunity for WOR to strike back and claw second place from them. Looks like Nathan is going for the attack mode. Or it looked like he was going to. Had a bit of a moment in turn 3. And there we go, another attack on Elias Psaros. I think there might be damage to the side pods or the floor of the WOR car there. Since he's losing speed a little bit. Especially through the corners, as you can see there. Since Seb crashed into, or actually he crashed into the side of Seb. So there might actually be front wing damage then. Nonetheless, he isn't as quick as he should be. I know Elias to be better than this. He's now down to 7th place, started in 4th. There's many other cars very close together. We saw Sixten Lindhart there having a little bit of a look at Raoul Race. He's very close behind that Mercedes. And the first driver with a penalty is Ryan Cox. And the second driver is Vuk Geike. It's happening quickly now. Vuk, of course, very far behind the field after spinning out in lap 3 from top of my head. And there goes Nathan Samba now properly on Marcel. Up into 4th place he goes. ERT needs these points. They are important points. We see Sixten in the standings there fighting with Raoul for 12th position. Is Marcel going to try and come back? Yes, he is in turn 4. Nice and easy does it. Oh, Nathan, I think, collided there with the Aston Martin. And that allows Gabriel to continue. They go very tight together there. And Gabriel is squeezing his way through. He saw the opportunity, took it with both hands, or in this case, 4 tires. And now Nathan has lost not 1 but 2 positions in the span of 1 sector. Racing is close and Nathan is not going to yield that quickly. He's still very, very close behind the Haas. But oh, he's pushed too hard out of the final corner. Round he goes. And that is game over for now for Nathan Samba. Very, very unfortunate spin there out of turn 10. He was very feisty, a little bit too much of that. And he was gone. And there we go, then Gabriel Cantina will have to try to go around the outside of Marcel, but Marcel's braking very late, pushing Gabriel off the track there, and now Gabriel is in trouble as another EAT car is approaching. This time it's Lapland trying to take the most of the opportunity. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it yet. He is, however, past Elias Psaros up into 6th position. Elias still in 7th place, could have been 8th if Nathan was still there. The driving is... there's many feisty drivers tonight. Of course, since this track is so short, the racing is very, very close. And incidents can happen very quickly, very easily. Top 3 though, still very stable. Dwight Chow staying with Valentino. Valentino 1.8 seconds behind Harry, but of course Harry on those medium tires is currently taking it quite easy. Might be different in the second stint when Valentino and Dwight switch to the mediums and Harry has to go to the hards. There we go then, once again, Gabriel on the attack mode with Marcel, and this time he's way ahead until even way before they approach turn 3. Lapland side by side with Marcel as well. Oh, they collide they collide too. Marcel is not very willingly to let all these drivers pass, and now potentially you might see 3 wide into turn 4. Is it going to happen? Fortunately not. Lapland though forcing his way past the Aston Martin, and that allows Elias Psaros to go through. Brilliant move. Very, very sharp there on the edge pretty much. Elias Psaros making the most of this situation, and Marcel has lost many, many positions now. It's either those soft tires giving up completely or him having gone in the mud thanks to all of those overtakes happening all at once. He's finding himself in trouble now in 10th place. His teammate is back ahead. Seb now up into 8th position. Chaos is happening everywhere. Ryan Cox is spun out as well. Nathan, of course, still far behind the field. Maki not able to keep up. Sixten Lindhart now fighting there with Marcel for what is 10th position. Marcel fighting for the top 4 half a lap ago. Now having to fight for less than ideal points for the team. But he's not giving up that easily despite his soft tires slowly starting to give up. Looks like Krathailem side by the 3 wide in turn 3 with Krathailem, Marcel and Raul. Looks like Krathailem has come out best of them all. Now up to 11th place. The team needs those points if they want to fight with WOR, who've got 2 cars in 5th and 9th. Vuk has retired in the pit lane as well as Ryan. Apparently he's got a 14-second penalty, Vuk had. Both cars are now out of the race. 15 cars remain, and that means all cars are now going to score points. Because as you know, in CSS the top 15 will score points instead of the top 10. So there's going to be points for everybody. It's almost like Christmas has come early. Gabriel nearly going too wide out of the final corner, but he's been able to rip himself free from the grasps of what is this very long and aggressive train. Now being led by Elias Psaros, back into 5th position, Lapland right behind. We had a bit of a yellow flag here because of those tired cars, I'd say. And Dwight Chow is now approaching Valentino Labello for 2nd place. Getting very close. In the meanwhile, Roman Dishmay going side by side with 2 different cars. Is this going to be many tears in turn 4? No, it isn't. Roman Dishmay though braking too late. Nearly losing control of the car. He took the 2 positions and then lost them straight away. And Sixten Lindhard is now also taking Jonas Dovjan into turn 5 and 6. Brilliant move there. Jonas Dovjan though able to defend the position. Maki spun out, now down in last place. So many things happening all at once. It's chaos everywhere. If you look away for just 1 second, it's suddenly 3 wide in turn 3, for example. Drivers going a bit wide there. Nathan Samba now with a 3-second penalty. Looks like those drivers who are in the back of the pack are pushing so hard. They are racking up those penalties right now. Is Elias Psaros able to get away? Well, he's somewhat able to. His pace is very consistent now. Seems like he's been able to, if there's any damage, he's been able to manage it quite well. It's probably just a tiny bit of damage to the front wing. I can't imagine that he came out of that collision with Sepp unscathed. Nonetheless, his pace is still excellent. A 1.6 second gap though to Gabriel, who is getting further and further away from this pack of cars. 5.6 seconds between himself and his teammate Dwight, who is now driving around in 3rd place, still behind Valentino Labella. So far the racing has been hard. There's been several incidents. Several cars losing out. Sixten Lindhard lining up Jonas Dovjan for 8th position. Can he get a good exit out of the final corner though? A move into turn 1 is going to be brave, especially from this distance. It's not going to happen, of course, so he needs a good exit from this corner then. Is it going to happen? It seems so, a little bit. There we go, he's getting closer, that's for sure. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Although you never know, a dive bomb in turn 3 might work wonders. If the other driver expects you, of course. Look at how close everybody is coming out of that turn there. Jonas very close to Seb. Who's already had to deal with Jonash's teammate on the first lap. Now he's got another papaya car behind. How long can he keep Jonash at bay on those mediums? I think the mediums are now past their optimal lifespan. The soft tires are for sure, and Marcel's now fallen down back to 13th place. Now let's see how many positions that is from the start of the race. It's actually 1 position worse. So, has the soft tire strategy worked? I'm not sure. But look at this. Jonas has to look in his rear view mirrors. Sixten very close behind still, and of course those hards I think are now better than the medium tires. Is he gonna go for a move? I think he is, side by side in turn 3. Jonas has got a car ahead. Is he gonna let him through? Not without a fight, which of course is why he's a racer. He has to yield though, nearly went off track. And now he falls nearly into the clutches of Romain Desmay, who actually is under threat from the Williams car of Krathailem there for 10th position. GRS in terms of the championship in trouble. Both WR cars are scoring more points at the moment. There's only 11 points in between them. 193 to 182 for WR in third in the standings at the moment. I'm not sure how many points every position is scoring from the top of my head, but I think WR could very well be second in the standings right now. Virtually, at least. There's still more than half of the race to go. Anything can happen. We've already seen many things happen. No safety car yet, though, as Marcel Pabst is the first to pit and to get a 5-second penalty for speeding in that same pit lane. Looks like he's going to the hard tires. I don't think the mediums are going to last here. Sepp is going side by side with Lapland. Lapland, though, braking very late. Is it going to be enough, though? He touches Elias's right rear tire due to that late braking. Fortunately, no damage as far as I could see. No carbon flying around. And they look to be quite safe. Elias Psaros is holding that position firm in his hands. 5th place. The gap between himself and Gabriel is stable. It's about 1.6, 1.7 seconds for quite a few laps now. And Gabriel is losing out to his teammate. 6.6 seconds now. In a span of 5 laps, more or less, the gap has increased by about a second. I think Dwight is taking it easy, not fighting with Valentino, knowing that it will result in losing time to the race leader, who is starting to lose that gap. 1.4 seconds now between Harry and Valentino, as Lapland goes into the offensive once again. This time Elias Psaros up to 5th position, nice and easy does it, and once again a collision between Elias and Seb. These two drivers are not very good friends on track tonight. And now he's right ahead of his teammate, Elias is. Sepp is now in 7th place and Elias has lost 2 positions in the span of a corner. Lapland in P5, Sixten in P6, Sepp in 7th place, Elias in 8th. Actually, that's 3 positions lost. Not too long ago he was in 5th. And now he's in P8. And the gap between P5 and 4 has increased, of course, due to this fight. Not something they like, but it happens. And now Elias's day is getting even worse, as he is the 5th driver, to get a 3-second penalty of those who are still in the race. Sixten eager, Sepp is eager as well. This is going to be 3 wide in turn 3. Once again, there's 3 drivers daring to make the move. Who's going to come out best this time? And oh, dearie me, in the background we saw a collision between, I think it was at least Elias Psaros and Lapland as well. There's at least 1 front wing damaged. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's Jernesh's front wing. So it might have not been Elias colliding with a car at all. I think it might even be 2 WR cars coming together, as Jernesh has got a pretty bad front wing right now. The left front side, as you can see, the left end plate is completely missing, and he has to let Lapland through, as the race leader is the first to go into the pit lane. Oh, he brakes too late! This is terrible news for Harry Nuns. Whoever predicted him as winner has completely cursed him now. It's the worst scenario. Every driver is having just so much bad luck right now. Even the race leader going into the pit lane has got himself a 5-second penalty. Janesh, of course, having to pit. This is good news for GRS, who can once again try to make the most of the chaos everywhere on track. Krathidam now in P9, but under threat from Raul Reyes in 10th. Is Raul going for the move? Yes, he is. Side by side in turn 3, and Elias joins the fun as well, because he's been joined into many funs tonight, so to say. He's involved in almost every fight on track at the moment. Not sure if he likes it, but it's happening nonetheless. Yep, 82 kilometers an hour is a penalty, unfortunately. It's going to make Harry's day much worse, especially since he's the only driver for his team tonight. But he's on an undercut move. And there we go. Looks like Valentino might have made a mistake. We saw him ghosting there on the main straight. That is bad news for Valentino, as now Dwight Chow is the race leader. I don't think he's lost any time, but Valentino now on the back foot. He has DRS still, I think. Yes, he had. So he was at least able to get back into that range. But he's the next driver to get bad luck. In the meanwhile, Lapland defending from Roman Dishmay, Ilya Psaros and many others. We see Sixten and Seb very close together as well. There's still plenty of fights potentially happening on track. Harry Nuns, of course, with his fresh tires, has to cut his way through so much traffic right now. He's in this long train. He goes for the double move, nearly colliding into the Williams. That is risk he shouldn't be taking on those fresh tires. It could have cost him his front wing, as Krothailem is not going to back out that easily. They are racing for a position here. Although this time Krothailem let him through safely. But that was a big risk from Harry there. A big lunge. Ooh, what are the cars? There, they're going off! They're going off and they're colliding! Absolute chaos unfolding once again. Elias Psaros is involved. This man will be fuming in his car tonight. He's been having so many cars alongside his own into himself, and he gets touched again, I think, by Raul Reis this time. This man just can't catch a break. What on earth is happening to Elias tonight? It couldn't get much worse than this outside of a retirement, but now he's down in 9th place. Harry Nuns, the de facto race leader, is cutting his way through the field. Not without incident though. He went wide due to one of the Red Bulls going into the pit lane, which of course was completely within their rights to do so. And I think the other drivers should have paid more attention to that. But they were fighting hard as well, so they might have completely missed the Red Bull going in. That was Roman Dishmay, by the way, since Ryan is out. Jonas is pitted as well. Looks like many others are going in. Now Dwight Cho is going in. Sixten is staying out. Gabriel is staying out as well. Let's see. Valentino has gone in too. I believe Valentino has gone in a lap early. He's now in 6th place. Well behind Harry Nuns. Just ahead of Dwight Chow though. He's narrowly retaken the place from Dwight there, as Janesh now sets the fastest lap of the race. There's so much chaos going on, it's hard to follow whatever is happening. Sixten and Krothailem still out, Nathan as well. They are the last 3 drivers yet to pit. Valentino is technically back in 2nd place, as he went in 1 lap earlier than Dwight did, and it's helped him clawing back their position. But both of them are quite far behind Harry right now. It's not 5 seconds, I believe. Actually, it is 5 seconds. But they will, on their quicker tires, quickly shrink this gap to much less than 5 seconds, I'm afraid. Here we go. Gabriel now going in. Sixten as well. Does that mean Krothailem is the only driver staying out on the old hard tires? Yes, they are. Harry Nuns is back in the lead. Krothailem in 2nd. I think they're hoping for a safety car, because if that happens, they are the luckiest person in the world. Nathan Samba staying out too. He's getting himself within a pack of quicker cars with fresher tires. Well, he was fighting for this position a while ago. Unfortunately, he got spun out all by himself as he lost it out of the final corner. There was no contact between himself and other cars when that happened. There goes Seb, past, up into 7th place. As the grid re-establishes themselves, Marcel's going very wide for some reason, and he loses it into the wall! Nearly retiring from the race there! How much damage is there to this car? As the camera decides to show the worst possible point of view. So let's see how it is. He's going slow, and I think he's going to give up. That was the final straw for Marcel. Krothailem in the pit right now. I think Nathan is going to come in as well. No, he isn't staying out still. Might he go for the soft tires then? We have another yellow flag. Marcel, I believe, is in. No, Seb is actually in. Marcel is going very slowly still. Maybe it's a puncture then. Valentino Labella trying to close the gap to Harry. 2.6 seconds. Don't forget, Harry still got the 5-second penalty due to speeding in the pit lane. If there's a safety car, he can serve it and come out clean. However, so far there haven't been any safety cars, which means he's in trouble. Yeah, sorry to bring you the bad news there, Derp. It looks like you didn't know it yet, but yes, Harry does have a 5-second penalty. Marcel, the third retirement in the pit lane of this race. Went too wide in turn 4, lost it coming out of it. Nearly crashing himself out of the race. Sepp has fallen back as well. I think he might have collided with Marcel. GS is not doing themselves any favors right now. The gap between the top two is shrinking quickly. Dwight Chow, is following suit. We might see a 3-way fight for the lead coming up very soon. Elias and Jernesh have switched positions as Elias is on the quicker tires at the moment and can catch Raul Reyes, who is ahead on the same age of tires, mediums as well. Nathan is still out there on 22-lap-old hards. He's just let through his teammate. He can now try and hold up the rest. We see a fight also between Gabriel and Sixten, as Sixten has gained 4th position from Gabriel in the Haas. Back to the front of the field. We have an official fight for P1 right now. Harry is still leading. Nathan gets another penalty there. He's still out there on those old hards. No wonder he's sliding off track everywhere. And he's still going for another lap. I would like to watch it, but this fight is brewing up as well. Where are they going to make their moves? Look at that! Valentino tried to brake late, but Harry broke even later than that. And he still retains the lead, at least for the time being. Valentino Labella has to stay behind for now, but he's approaching quickly. Is he gonna go around the outside and turn 4 with the infinitely better grip? Yes, he is! Nearly into contact there, but Harry Nunn's been demoted to 2nd place. In the meanwhile, Nathan doing an almighty defense from many cars behind for his teammate. Lapland is getting a big service from his teammate there. Nathan is defending from every car behind. He's getting passed by 2 cars. Did they come together though? That's the question. Raul Reyes up in 7th. Elias up in 8th position. And Nathan Samba is still fighting though with Elias there for that place. And now Janesh Devjan is reporting for duty as he gets passed actually by Romain Dishmay. Completely caught off guard there as Nathan is a moving obstacle pretty much. Kotailam is sticking behind for now. They usually are able to avoid the chaos. For how much longer though, as Nathan is now finally yielding and going in the pit lane. It looks like he completely sacrificed his race just to make sure the gap between his teammate and the rest of the field is as big as possible. And it's worked because there's 2.7 seconds between Raul and Lapland right there. So a big tip of the hat to Lapland's teammate Nathan. And now Nathan will be praying for a safety car. It's what he needs. He's gone to the mediums. No soft tires for him. So that confirms he was sacrificing his race for his teammate. That is beautiful teamwork, by the way. Well done, Team ERT. Meanwhile, Harry Nuns has lost 2nd position as well. But those hard tires might come back to him when the mediums are starting to wear off. But there's 12 laps of racing remaining, 11 right now. So I wonder if he's able to claw it back, and he still has got that 5-second time penalty to nurse. So he will also be hoping for a safety car, because that might save his race, because he does have the pace. But this is not ideal. You can stay with them though if the top 2 are going to fight. Dwight Chow once again hanging behind Valentino. Wonder what our battery levels are. We can't show them. But this is an interesting fight. Dwight is out of the slipstream there. Making sure he doesn't gain too much. This is going to be once again a battle of the most patient man for the top 3. Raul Reyes getting passed there by Elias Pseros. Yes, he does. Elias up in 7th place. But looks like Raul is going to fight back. Going round the outside in turn 6, but Elias is still on the inside somewhat there, but he has to yield. Looks like Raul defended quite well there. It looked like Elias had the position, but Raul clawed it back in turn 5. Well done. He's the only FFC driver remaining, and he knows it. He also knows he's got 2 very quick drivers behind, or actually 4 quick drivers, as Kretylum goes for a move in turn 1. Actually does the move before turn 1, so that's good on them. And now they can try and fight both WR cars. And it looks like Elias Psaros is already ahead of Raul Reyes, I think. Yep, battery lights are flashing already. In turn 4, Janesh tries to make the move as well. Is it going to stick there though? They both have DRS. Thailand reporting as well. They're now 3 wide on the back straight. Who's going to come out unscathed? Janesh stays ahead. Raul Reyes, can he do it again round the outside in turn 5? He can't, and it looks like Kretylum decides to continue onwards to the next car. But they can't make it stick. Turn 6, of course, is very difficult to overtake in. Only if you catch the other car off guard. In this case, though, they're fighting Janesh. That's not an easy drive to catch off guard anyway. But these are not the points that WR wants to gain. 7 and 8th, and now they've got a GRS car fighting them for those points and for the championship. Harry doesn't have a teammate because his teammate is serving one of the race bans, being handed out to Team ABS. Next week, though, the ABS will be back in full force. Oh, looks like Janesh gone way too wide, and that opened the door for Kretylum quite easily. Kretylum up to 8th place. They're the only driver fighting both WR cars right now, as Maki is very far behind. Not up to the pace tonight, unfortunately. Raul Reyes on the inside. Can he also take the places? Will be excellent news for GRS, as Ru has now passed WR as well. Now, 7th and 10th. And Kretylum is knocking on the door of the next car once again. And the latter part of the race, that is where this person shines. Incredible job so far. Starting on the back foot and once again showing consistency. Now fighting for 7th place, which they already technically have in their hands since Elias got a penalty. So we'll look at this battle. Nothing happening at the moment. Gabriel Quintino staying behind the OP car. Both OP cars fighting an NLR car. This could be a great day for NLR and OP as well, as GRS and WR are fighting for much less points right now. With Thylum now in 7th place. Elias Psaros being passed as well. And Raul Reyes side by side. Is he going to go around the outside? Elias Psaros is going to come back at him in turn 4. Kretylum, can they stick round the outside? They can't, and now Raul Reyes is reporting once more at the side of the Williams. Kretylum on the inside has to yield. This racing here between these 5 cars is very close, and the car waiting patiently behind is Romain Deschbet. It's like he's waiting for what he thinks is inevitable, and that is a collision between either of these 4 cars. Valentino and Dwight, in the meanwhile, ever increasing their gap to Harry. Harry's not having the pace on those hards. And he's only 5.5 seconds ahead of Sixten. If that gets less than 5 seconds, he will lose the podium. And that would be even worse news for ABS, who are fighting NLR for 4th position. This could be a very bad day for GRS, WR and ABS right like this. And a perfect day for NLR and OP. Well, a near perfect day, of course. Perfect would be 1-1-2. But look at these cars fighting once again in turn 4. Elias trying it again, and this time Kretylum has to yield. Whoa, nearly getting spun out there. But they're gonna go for the move again round the outside. Can they make it stick? Nope, yielding again. Which is the safer thing to do, of course. And Elias holds on to 7th place, although he'll be hoping that the cars behind have 2 warnings. At least Kretylum, Janesh and Roman have, because Raul's got a penalty as well. Let me see what penalties those are exactly. There we go. 2 3-second time penalties in this fight. for Ilias and Roll. As you can see there, Harry Nuns with the 5 seconds, and Sixten is now within those 5 seconds. Meaning that at the moment, Harry will finish P5 after starting from pole. There we go again, with Dylem on the offensive this time, forcing Ilias wide. But it looks like it's actually Rolls under the most pressure. Is Janesh going for the move in turn 4? He's having a look. He's not having a go. I keep an eye out on the Red Bull though. He might gain 4 positions if they all collide. And I think he's just waiting for that moment. But there's only 5 laps to go now. Valentino is still towing along Dwight Chow. Will we see another OP win tonight? Could very well happen, and Harry is just not up to the job anymore. He's still losing time to Sixten behind. Of course, he had to pit earlier, so those hearts are slightly older. Look like back into the background there. Gabriel Contino now going for the move. Looks like they're going to work together to reduce the gap to as little as possible in case they get a penalty. But they will have to be within 2 seconds of Harry. As Maki spins out, he's getting very close to being lapped by Valentino and Dwight now. Whoa, Sixten going around the outside. They're actually fighting. That is good news for Harry. But Sixten back ahead of Gabriel Contino there. Let's quickly switch back to the biggest fight on track at the moment. Ilias still keeping the other 4 cars behind. Janesh and Roman are losing a little bit of ground there on their older hard tires. I wonder when the hard tires will get the advantage now. It's probably going to be on the last lap, which is not enough. The fight for the lead is getting closer and closer now. They are quite safe from Harry. More than 5 seconds in between them and 3rd place. And I think the fight for the lead is going to be on now. Dwight has saved, most likely, a lot of battery. Valentino has kept him behind for all of these laps, probably because Dwight wanted that. And he's going on tech mode for the final 3 laps, I'd say. In the meanwhile, his teammate, Gabriel's, once again overtaking Sixten for 4th position. They are well within the 5-second range as well. So Harry in P5 on paper right now. And Gabriel on the podium. NLR and OP are making the most of the bad situation that GRS and WR find themselves in, and they're still fighting for all of these points down here. Ilias is still defending from Katailem, who nearly had a go on him. Raoul Reis, look at that, Roman Dishmay finally has gone for the opportunity he was looking for, now up into 10th position. Jernesh now down to 11th. And he knows he'll gain 2 more as Raoul and Ilias will lose those positions. And the fight for the lead is happening in turn 3 there. As Dwight takes the lead with 2.5 laps to go, I should say. Can Valentino claw it back in turn 4 around the outside? He can't. Now I think Dwight's got a lot of battery here. Valentino potentially as well. Sixten in the meanwhile. Around the outside or inside, I didn't see of Gabriel there. Back into 4th. Which team is going to come out best? Is it going to be OP or NLR? The lead of the race, though, is what we want to be watching. Sixten and Gabriel have approached Harry now. They're within DRS range of the Ferrari. I think Harry is going to be very disappointed after this race. Whether he had that 5-second penalty or not. Two laps to go. Valentino now the one on the attack. Is he going to go for the move in turn 3? They're approaching it rapidly. He's going to have to go around the outside. He can't. Can he force Dwight wide though in turn 4? Yes, he can. Or sorry, turn 3. Not a great exit by Dwight. Valentino can get closer. But is it going to be close enough? Dwight defending the inside. Valentino tried going around the outside. Unsuccessful yet. Quickly switching to the other fight at hand. It's Harry Nuns now defending from 2 cars. Although he knows it's futile. I think both Sixten and Gabriel would prefer, though, to be ahead just in case the FIA thinks differently. But I think this penalty will stand because it's a fair and square 5-second penalty for speeding. As too fast is too fast, even if it is only 1 kilometer per hour too much. And we see in the chat that Harry also has damage. So no wonder he's so much slower all of a sudden. It's not a great race for him. Janesh back in 9th, Raul back in 10th, and Romain back down in 11th. But we're on the final lap of the race. Can Valentino go on the attack still? Dwight has now got to use every bit of battery he's got remaining. Valentino needs the perfect exit. Can he get it though? They think he's too far behind to make the move here. As Gabriel now moves properly into 3rd place. Sixten Lindhart though is going to come back at them. They're going to be side by side in turn 4. I think the lead of the race is pretty much settled. Dwight in 1st, Valentino in 2nd, Sixten in 3rd, Gabriel in 4th, and Harry will have to settle for P5 with damage and a 5-second penalty. Nathan getting another penalty, but it doesn't matter. He's in 12th and he's going to lose that position to Seb, I'm afraid, as well. Back to the lead of the race as we'll see these two cars watching them going across the line. We see Kratylum in the meanwhile going around the outside of Elias Pseros, but Dwight Chow wins for NLR. Valentino Labella will have to settle for 2nd place. Sixten will be delighted from the back of the grid to 3rd place. Well done to him. Gabriel in 4th. This is a brilliant day for OP and NLR as OP will massively extend their lead. NLR will close the gap to the top and Harry will have to settle for 5th. Lapland, well done, up into 6th place. He stayed out of the melee between all of these cars. Kratylum in 7th, Jernej in P8, Roman in P9, Elias in 10th and Raul in 11th thanks to their penalties. Nathan Samba will not finish 12th as he's too close because of his 12-second penalty to Seb. He will claim 12th position, the only GS car out on track right now. Nathan, of course, having sacrificed his race, trying to claw the fastest lap there as well. But Seb, I believe, will have it here in this race. He will finish in 12th. Marquis will still gain some points for GRS, but this has been a bad day once again for WR, and this time, for the first time in the season, I'd say, Team GRS has had an off day. Driver of the day, Sixten Lindhart. I'd say he's definitely a contender for it. I wonder though, who you think is driver of the day. NLR has a race winner here with Dwight Chow. 1st position for him. Valentino Labella in 2nd. Sixten Lindhart in 3rd. Gabriel and Quintino in 4th. Harry Nuns in P5 thanks to damage and a penalty. Lapland in P6. Kratylum in P7. Janesh P8. Roman Dijmay P9. Elias Pseros in P10. Then, of course, the rest of the grid. Rail Race in 11th, Seb in 12th, Nathan P13, Marky in 14th, and then, of course, 3 retirements of Marcel, Ryan, and Vuk. The pit stops here, of course, confirmation that Seb has edging away from ABS here and definitely get very close to GRS and WR. Looks like we have at least one driver willing to give an interview, and that is our man in third position. So let's switch to... We don't have an interview screen, of course, in CSS. I forgot that. So let's switch to the intermission screen, which is pretty much the same. Also, snow. Enjoy. While we listen to Sixten. There we go. Let's drag him in here. Hello, Sixten. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Nice. Let me increase your volume there. There we go. First and foremost, congratulations. Third position. I think that was a very difficult third place. You were fighting with Gabriel almost all race there. And starting from the back of the grid. So you must be satisfied with this one.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Got very lucky with the driving standards ahead, so I could just go through.
Yeah, you served the qualifying ban. Was that discussed beforehand that you would serve it?
Yeah, I took it immediately because it was my first race, so yeah.
Okay, how were you expecting before the race in terms of pace to do here on Austria? Were you expecting to be this far in front, or...?
No, I wasn't expecting to get a podium, maybe like P8, yeah.
Yeah, now your team is going to extend the lead of the championship, and I wonder, will we see more of you in the upcoming races?
Yeah, hopefully I'll get more seats if I have the pace for it.
Alright, nice. Looks like a good race for you then. Congratulations on third place, and enjoy your podium.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's short answers, but very clear, of course. Sixten satisfied with this performance in this race. From the back of the grid all the way up to the front. Looks like the other two drivers have either not responded yet or are unable to respond. I hope I will at least be able to hear from our race winner how this race was, and Valentino as well. They were very close together. They were constantly in a tussle as well. Dwight waiting behind patiently and then going for the move, never looking back on Valentino. Of course, he had to look in the rear view mirrors as Valentino kept close, but it looked like he was never under threat. So well done to you, Dwight. A nice victory for NLR. Well deserved. Valentino, a nice second place. 2 OP cars on the podium this time round. That will be very good for their championship, as they will be looking nice coming into round 8. And of course, as we saw a bit earlier in today's stream, next week we'll be heading to Qatar, which is going to be an entirely different beast. Very high tire wear, but a very satisfying track to drive on. It's, oh, well actually Dwight has joined us in the chat, which is nice as well. GG to you. Congratulations on the win. Qatar next week, as I said, and then there's only Japan and Abu Dhabi remaining as we are heading to the season finale in a few weeks' time. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure once again commentating here for the Competitive Speed Series. Don't forget our sponsor as well. Make sure to type in the chat !SRC, because that is our sponsor. Our good friends from Sim Racing Center, where you can actually get your strategies, your setups, and even some coaching sessions in terms of engineering and all those things. You can get 5% off if you follow the link, if you type !SRC. Once again, thank you so much for joining. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. See you next week in Qatar. End of snow.